The popular Elenite resort complex and surrounding coastal areas in Bulgaria are underwater following 2 days of relentless rainfall that meteorologists are calling one of the most intense precipitation events in recent history. More than 80 rescue workers have been deployed as the death toll continues to rise. Bulgaria's Black Sea region is facing a major natural disaster. Massive flooding has destroyed homes, swept away vehicles, and claimed lives after 2 days of extreme rainfall. The catastrophic weather event has turned entire communities into disaster zones and left thousands of people without shelter or basic services. Between 450 and 500 millimeters of rain fell across southeastern Bulgaria in just 48 hours. This torrential rainfall is some of the heaviest the area has seen in many years. The constant downpour turned streets into fast-moving rivers and caused mountain streams to overflow. Meteorologists reported that the rainfall was continuous with very high intensity, giving the ground no time to absorb the water. The saturated soil quickly reached its maximum capacity, causing immediate runoff that fed into the flood. The Burgas region and nearby coastal towns suffered the worst damage. At the Elenite Resort, a popular vacation spot, floodwaters rushed down from the mountains and flooded hotels and homes within minutes. The mountain ravine above the resort could not contain the massive volume of water and burst through its banks. Guests and residents had almost no warning before the raging torrents arrived. More than 100 vehicles were washed into the Black Sea as the powerful currents swept through parking lots and coastal roads. Bridges broke apart under the water pressure. Roads disappeared completely underwater, making travel impossible in many areas. At least 12 people have died. 8 local residents drowned when they became trapped in flooded basements where they had taken shelter. 4 rescue workers lost their lives while trying to save others, swept away by the strong currents during evacuation attempts. Officials fear the death toll may increase as several people are still missing. Search and recovery teams continue to look for those unaccounted for, though the dangerous conditions make their work extremely challenging. Emergency teams are working around the clock. Over 80 rescue workers, including firefighters, divers, and soldiers, are helping people escape the floodwaters. Helicopters have lifted stranded residents from rooftops, where they waited for hours in the pouring rain. The Bulgarian Navy is using boats to reach coastal areas that have been completely cut off by the flooding. Some families were pulled to safety using ropes and ladders as rescuers formed human chains through the rushing water. Volunteers from nearby towns have joined the rescue efforts, bringing supplies and helping to evacuate the elderly and children first. Water levels reached the second floor of many buildings. Homes, shops, and businesses are completely flooded with muddy water mixed with debris. Furniture, appliances, and personal belongings have been destroyed or washed away entirely. Coastal infrastructure like ports and seawalls have collapsed under the force of the storm surge. The seawater pushed inland by strong winds combined with the rainfall created even more flooding in low-lying areas. Debris from destroyed buildings has blocked major roads, cutting off communication to several towns.
Бус белый чей-то. Может, кто-то ищет.
Power lines came down during the storm. leaving thousands without electricity. The lack of power has made rescue operations even more difficult after dark. Small business owners are devastated as they watch their livelihoods disappear under the muddy flood waters. Markets that were full of goods just days ago are now empty shelves filled with contaminated water. The fishing industry along the coast has also been severely impacted, with boats damaged or lost and harbor facilities destroyed. The economic impact of this disaster will be felt for months or even years to come. A state of emergency is now in effect for Burgas, Vitan, and Perak regions. Local authorities have set up temporary shelters in schools and community centers for displaced families. Despite rescue efforts, strong currents continue to make operations dangerous. Heavy equipment cannot reach some areas because access roads have been washed away or blocked by landslides triggered by the heavy precipitation. Rescue teams are using amphibious vehicles in the worst-hit zones where regular vehicles cannot operate. Weather forecasters are monitoring the situation closely. Although the rainfall intensity has decreased, scattered showers and thunderstorms are still possible in the region. The ground remains saturated, which means even light to moderate rainfall could cause additional flash flooding. River levels are slowly receding, but authorities warn that it will take several days for the water to fully drain from the affected areas. The forecast shows clearer conditions expected later in the week, which will help rescue and cleanup efforts. The psychological impact on survivors is severe. Many people have lost everything they owned and watched helplessly as their homes were destroyed. Children who were rescued from flooded schools are traumatized by the experience. Mental health professionals are being brought in to help families cope with the disaster. Community support networks are organizing to provide food, clothing, and emotional support to those affected. This disaster shows how quickly extreme weather can turn deadly. Climate patterns have been changing, and extreme precipitation events are becoming more common in many parts of the world. Always listen to local authorities during emergencies. Stay away from floodwaters, which can be contaminated with sewage and chemicals and are often deeper and faster moving than they appear. Avoid traveling during severe storms and never attempt to drive through flooded roads. Just 6 inches of moving water can knock a person off their feet, and a foot of water can sweep away most vehicles. If you are in a flood-prone area, move to higher ground immediately when heavy rainfall is forecast.